All right. We're live. So let me see if I could see this on Facebook. Let's see. So we don't have anyone right now chiming in. Okay. All right. There we are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. It's on Facebook.
Okay. That's
All right.
good.
Awesome. 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 Okay. Yeah, if you go on Facebook, you could see the live and we're on there. So at least it'll be on Facebook.
Yes.
So, okay. I want to see some people come in first.
Yeah. And I just want to make sure I had to plug my phone in so I didn't lose my charge.
I hope we could comment. I hope people could comment.
I'm going to tell a couple of friends to click on to come on.
Mm-hmm. Come on, our live. We are live.
It's going to be so good.
With my friend Michelle Smith. Let's see if anyone's sharing it. Okay. No one's sharing it yet. Okay. I'm going to have my husband. Let's see.
Uh-oh. That's my captain. He gets a little fired up. He should be outside with his dad. I apologize. He was mad because I shut him outside the door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay. Anyways, so we are live, and this is my friend Michelle Smith. We actually met each other at the revival that we have with Evangelist Ankit, and it was a very powerful revival. If any of you went there, and when I met Michelle and her beautiful mom, she is so precious and so cute.
Isn't she? She's so cute.
So we met and just our spirits clicked. We're like, wow, what an awesome woman of God you are. And I was just so excited. And when someone is supposed to be in your life, your spirits click, your hearts click, and everything. And it was just awesome. How did you like you and your mom like the revival with Evangelist Ankit?
It was so good. It was so powerful. We had come the week before as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it just felt like home. We just felt from the first time that we pulled into the parking lot at your church and came in, it was so welcoming. And we felt the love of people, the love of Jesus. And it was just, it's something that you don't get all the time. And so we noticed that. We were like, man, this just feels like home. It's such a safe place.
Yeah.
And so we wanted you and Pastor Rick to know that as guests coming in, we felt at home.
Yeah.
And the revival with Evangelist Ankit and even Evangelist Talon was so powerful and life-giving and life-changing. We enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, it was powerful.
It was. And then just to experience the presence of God and to spark that fire for revival, and then the healings that we got to watch and take place, and the salvations and marriages being restored and bodies being healed.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to let the viewers know as well. Our church is located in Mississippi, Moss Point, Mississippi. It's New Life Church. It's 9720 US 90 West. That's Moss Point, Mississippi. Hey, Christina Hernandez Jolly.
Yes.
How are
Hi,
you?
Christina. Thanks for joining us.
There she is.
My beautiful friend. I love for my friends to meet my friends. So, Christina, this is Pastor Diana. And Pastor Diana, this is my friend Christina. This
Hi,
is what I
Christina.
love every day.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Glad you got to join in. Share this live if you're able to and invite other ladies. You know, we want to share our testimonies, and we want to also encourage the listeners and the singles as well. We want to minister to them tonight. We want to encourage them.
Yeah.
So if you could share, that would be awesome. So I wanted to give you the opportunity, Michelle, to go ahead and um, tell us your testimony. Tell us how you met your husband, and we'll do the same, tag team style. So you have the floor. Take your time. You're good to go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having this on your heart and to do. And I just thank the Lord for giving us the time and the opportunity to get to be here, because ultimately it's just about Him.
Yep.
And it's just about being willing to give God the glory in our story.
Yes.
And for so many years, I feel like looking back on my story, there were many years that I hid in shame and pain and guilt and trauma and all the things that the enemy definitely comes against us with and tries to keep us down. And for many years, it worked. And I just hid in that shame. And the Lord showed me a few years ago that, we were born to shine. Even Matthew 5:16 says to shine and shine brightly so that the world can see, because we're all going through things at different seasons and different stages, but we need each other.
Yep.
And if we're not bold and we're not willing to share our story, how can someone else get the breakthrough that they need without hearing what we've been through? And so I'm very appreciative of the things that I've been through. Not always fun and not always good,
Right.
but God was always there.
Exactly.
And even by the hand of my unwise choices and decisions, sometimes He still never left me and He still didn't move. I was the one that was choosing to go my own way or to make my own plan, or, because He gives us free will and choice every single day.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think back to, the dream of dreaming. You dream as a little girl and you dream about getting married and having babies and a family and the white picket fence and, all those things. And when they started coming true and I got married and I was having my kids back to back, I have 3 amazing children and they came pretty quickly. And I was blessed to have the first 2 within 16 months of each other.
Wow.
And then the baby came a little less than 2 years later. So they were really back to back. But I woke up one day and my dream that I thought I had dreamed of, my whole life became a nightmare. And I found myself in a situation that I didn't want to be in.
Right.
I didn't ask for that. I didn't want that. That wasn't my plan. That wasn't supposed to be a part of my story.
Right.
But God was so good and so gracious. And I got to step away. I raised 3 kids by myself.
Wow.
And I wanted to do it my way. In the beginning, I fought really hard prove to everybody. I had something to prove. I needed to prove that I was a good mom, and I was going to do this thing and just my way.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent several years just striving and fighting and hustling and grinding and just trying to do the things. And finally, I broke.
Wow.
And I just said, I can't do this anymore. I have 3 children looking up at me, saying, okay, Mom, what do we do next? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And I know in my heart that it was the right timing and that I had to, it was time. It was time to just say, Lord, I surrender.
Right.
And he showed me at that very moment, the power of life and death is in our very tongue. It's in our words, because I had been so broken and so hurt that all I knew to do most of the time was pick up the phone and either call my best friend or call my mom. And, I can't believe he did this and he did this. And this is the way, this is that. And we repeat it and repeat it and repeat it.
Right.
Even though it was all in the name of venting, I got to vent, I've got to get it out. And then the Lord said, you're keeping it going around and around and around the mountain. And I can't do what I really want to do in your life until you surrender, until you trust me, and until you stop talking about it. Yes, it happened. Yes, it wasn't what you planned. No, it's not what you wanted, but here we are.
Right.
I'm going to help you fix it if you will trust me. And so in that moment, I began to pour myself just into the word and just say, okay, Lord, show me what to do. And it was to close my mouth and to start speaking out what the word said over my newfound singleness. Because, going through a divorce, I was single again.
Right.
And so the power of life and death in our own voice and our own tongue is powerful.
Right.
And I want to encourage anybody watching with us tonight that no matter what you're going through, no matter what season you're in, maybe you are finding yourself single again or still single and haven't married. It doesn't matter. The power of life and death is in your very tongue and voice. And the Bible even says to call those things that are not as though they are. And that was really powerful because I didn't know what was coming. I didn't know what was next. I didn't know how to make that happen. But I began trusting the Lord and just following the small steps every day to grab a verse and to grab a word and just keep repeating it. Even if it was just, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world.
Right.
Or no weapon. He didn't say the weapons weren't going to come.
Right.
And they're coming like arrows sometimes, fiery darts.
Right.
But he says it's not going to prosper in the way that it's meant to come at you.
Right.
So just grabbing those little words in the Bible and standing on the word can completely transform where you're at.
I think, in the brokenness, like I've seen even in my own life, in the brokenness is when you hear the voice of God the loudest. Isn't that true? When you're broken, you hear, because you're crying out, you're humble and you're crying out, you're like, Lord, I need you. And in the brokenness is when you hear him the loudest.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. He still gives us a free choice and a will every single day, though. And you got to choose to listen, choose to want that, choose to seek after that and to run after that because he's there. And another thing, so the power of life and death being in our very own tongue and our words and what we speak, but also an attitude of gratitude.
Right.
An attitude of gratitude completely changed my life. Even in the times where I didn't think that I had anything to be thankful for.
Right.
It
Yeah.
hurt. It hurt so bad. It was painful. It was not good. But he was working those things out for my good.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
And so an attitude of gratitude, and I'm really a big believer in giving the first fruits. And the first thing in the morning, every morning now, I wake up and take control of my mouth, my
Yep.
tongue, and the day.
We all need
Carpe
to do it.
diem, baby. Seize the day, and seize the day with your words and
Yep.
give God your first fruits. Wake up and thank him for this day. Thank
Yes.
you, Lord. I just took breath. I have breath for today. God,
Yep.
I'm still alive. You've
Yep.
still got me here for a reason and a purpose. Whether
Yes.
I'm single right now, whether walking through a divorce, divorced, or waiting, or married, I'm here. I'm alive. We've got something to do together today, God. I thank you for this day. Thank
Right.
you for my home. Thank you for the shelter. Thank you for the money in my account. Thank you for my job. Thank you for you have something to thank the Lord for. And an attitude of gratitude and stress and anxiety cannot reside in the same place.
Yeah, exactly. I think everyone has to have that attitude, whether you're single, married, don't matter. Even if you're going through something just heartbreaking,
Yeah.
God is still God.
Yeah.
He's still on the throne. He still knows what you're going through. He knows your heart. He knows you better than you know yourself. So, it doesn't matter even what kind of day you're having. God is still God, and he's still in control. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying is so, so good. I saw Miss Barbara. Hello, Miss Barbara.
Did she get to pop on?
Yeah, she said so good with 2 hearts.
Oh, yes.
I
I'm going to tell you that
um,
woman, if she is in your life, you are blessed.
oh, yes.
She is such a blessing. And I'm not just saying that because she's my mom. I give her a shout out, but she really, really, really is. And she was a rock and a pillar in my life
That's
that
awesome.
I'm so thankful to have. But she's a mighty woman of God, a prayer warrior. And you meet her one time, you fall in love with her, and she'll be family for life.
She is. She's family with us. And so
Yes.
are you.
Yes. So I'm thankful for her so much. She definitely was there for me and helped me going through that time and becoming single again. And I still had things that, I had to go through and grow and learn because of what God wanted to do in my life.
Right.
And I'm so thankful for a praying mom that
Yes.
didn't give up. She didn't quit. And she didn't stop praying. And she instilled that fire and passion in me
That's
that
awesome.
was cultivated, and I'm able to do that, for my children and stepkids and grandbabies to come. I just became a grandmother a few months ago. I have
Oh,
a
me too.
4-month-old.
Oh,
Yes.
4-month-old. Mine is 5 months.
Oh, okay. So they're really close.
Yes.
Yes.
I wish we could share the pictures of our cutie pies.
Oh, I know. Isn't it just amazing? I can't get to mine. She's in Texas. I can't get there as
Mine's in
often, but
Chicago. Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know.
Yes, I know. I know how much you miss
Oh,
your grandbaby. I know.
yes. Yep. But I'm just praying that our quiver is going to be full and they're going to rise up and call us blessed. And we are going to be amazing grandmothers and generational curse breakers for our family. And just, it's just an amazing season. Yeah. Yep. We don't look like grandmothers.
No, we look awesome. We look awesome.
Not like the grandmothers that it used to be. We're the rocking grannies now, right?
We wear our glitter boots. So
Yes.
we're rocking grandmothers.
We are. I'm telling you, I'm getting some gold glitter boots. That was the first thing that I noticed. I was like, oh, she is my girl. She's got on those gold glitter boots. I was like, yes.
I just
Yes.
like to be different, you know. I mean, pull out the wild boots, you know.
Me too. And I think I've always been that way. I like bright colors. I like it sparks joy. And
Yeah,
so why not? You
yeah.
know? Yeah. I
So go
love
ahead
it.
and share more of your awesome story here and the story that God gave glory to.
Well, I went through many more years of having to learn, lessons and just drawing closer to the Lord. I will say this, it was really amazing when He started dealing with me about the power of life and death in
Wow.
my very own tongue. And that it was up to me every single day that um, the kids and I needed a place to live.
Mhm.
And it was time, to move and make a transition from where we were. And we needed a place to live.
Right.
And what my bank account wanted to say that was going to be was not what I had in my heart and not what I was going to speak. And
Mm.
I know sharing this is it's going to touch somebody tonight, and
Yeah.
you're listening,
Yeah.
and this is going to be a word for you.
Yes.
So I dug really deep and I kept saying, Lord, what the bank account says is not where I'm going to live nor what I'm going to do. So I don't
Exactly.
know how you're going to do it, but I'm trusting you. And I was driving around one afternoon in Mobile, needed a place to live. He told me to take a certain road. I didn't know anything about that area. I didn't know. I just felt led by the Holy Spirit. Take a right, turn down this road. It
Wow.
took me down a long road, went down a hill, opened up, and in the very back, all of a sudden there were a ton of palm trees. There was a big gated fence, and I
Mhm.
had never been back here. It
Wow.
was a brand new resort complex that was just getting ready to open. And I was
Wow.
like, wow, I didn't even know this was back here.
Wow.
Beautiful fountain and rocks and flowing. And so I pulled in, went straight to the clubhouse, and I was like, wow, this is unbelievable. It was gorgeous.
Mm.
And I got out and I went inside. There was a lady there. We began talking, and they had not really even officially opened yet. It was a brand new resort complex. And she was busy that day.
Mm.
So I asked her for an application, and she said, well, we're not doing that. I actually can't give you an application to leave, but it's $350 if you'd like to fill out the form
Right.
and leave it here. And I knew I had just checked my bank account for the week, and I had $350 for
Wow.
the week, like to last for
Wow.
gas, groceries, and 3 kids.
Right. Right.
And I said, okay. I said, maybe I'll come back in a couple of days, because I
Yeah.
was like, Lord, you told me to turn
Right.
down this drive. Now I can't even fill out the application. I don't understand.
Right.
And so she turned back around and she said, actually, no one else is here right now. I'll go ahead and let you take the application with you, take the paperwork, go over it. And then if you'll bring it back, as soon as you can.
Right.
And so I took the paperwork. I got out in the car. Tears just started flowing. I'm like, God, why did you tell me? Why did you tell me to turn? Why did you send me here? I don't understand. I've only got $350 in my account right now. She wants 350. What am I doing? And so I left. And as I was driving around, it was just, one of those times where you just don't understand, but you know that you've heard him. You know
Right.
that you felt something in your heart.
Right.
And so it was 3 days later, I had a break, and I had filled out the paperwork in faith. I was still
Mm.
standing and believing on God. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm trusting that you're going to do it.
Right.
And I went back by there. I drove all the way back over, and I was just praying as I went. I was worshiping. I had cranked up my worship music, and I was just praising the Lord on the way. And I got back, I pulled up to the office again, and I went inside, and that particular lady was not there. Another lady greeted me. And so I gave her the application. I said I had been by, I wanted to turn this back in. I really wanted to maybe see an apartment or see the property.
Mhm.
And so as we were talking, and she was asking questions about me, or, where do you work? What do you do? Single mom, I have 3 kids, really, really need a place to live.
Right.
And this is their school district, and, all the things.
Yeah.
As we were talking, she said, "Come here, I want to show you something." We got up, we walked through this amazing clubhouse. It had a pool table. It had this amazing clubhouse and this
Wow.
theater room. Oh, Pastor Diana, the theater room was just like, we could watch movies in here. Like, my mind was just
Wow.
spinning. And we go outside, and she scans the card and opens up the next door, and because she had asked me what I do. Well, I work in pharmaceuticals, but I'm also a personal trainer, certified personal trainer. I'm a group fitness instructor, and I've been in the fitness industry for almost 30 years.
Wow.
And so I've had that on the side, and she opens the door, and we walk in, and it is the most amazing gym I've
Wow.
ever seen. It's beautiful. It's overlooking the palm trees and the pool and this fountain. And I was like, wow. She said, "Could you see yourself working out in here?"
Yeah.
And I was like, of course.
Yeah.
I said, "This is amazing." It wasn't any little rinky dink little gym.
Right.
This was a setup.
Wow.
And I was training clients on the side as an extra, business, because I always said I had to work 3 jobs to take care of 3 kids.
Right.
But God was setting my heart up for entrepreneurship, and I didn't even know it
That's
during
awesome.
that time.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I said, yeah, I would absolutely love it. And so we went, we saw the apartment. The whole time I just had fire. I just said, "God, I know we're going to live here. I don't know how you're going to do it."
Wow.
And so we get back to the office, and we sit down, and we start discussing rent and fees and all the things. And she said, "Oh yeah, and by the way, it's only a $50 deposit today if you want to turn your paperwork in." I was like,
Wow.
I said, "Okay, well, I got $50. I can do that." So we did the application, and then in that very moment, she turned back around and she said, "How would you feel if we came up with a proposal? If you're a personal trainer and a group fitness instructor, how would you feel if we worked out a deal and you became the personal trainer, group fitness instructor on property, and you taught 2 classes per week for our residents?" And I sat back and I said, "Okay, well, what does that mean?" I said, "Actually, I'm paying a gym in town to train my clients there. Can I move my clients to this gym and have them, come and train with me here?" She said, "Absolutely." And so
Wow.
I got to move my clients. So that put a raise in my pocket because I didn't have overhead of the gym any longer. I got to move my clients to the gym. That was a raise.
Wow.
I got to gain more clients. I had open door to all the residents. I got to have health and hope nights in the theater room.
Wow.
I got to do seminars and lead people in getting healthy. And I taught 2 classes a week, and they gave me concession off of my rent.
That is awesome.
They
Wow.
worked it out so that at that moment, immediately, I was able to move my 3 kids and myself into a 2-bedroom apartment at a brand new resort complex that had just opened. We were the 7th leasee, number 7. We were the 7th leasee to sign papers. That was it. They had not even finished concreting the pool yet. And she let us pick out the apartment that we wanted. It was on the 3rd floor overlooking the entire resort. I could see the gym. The kids could sit on my balcony and see me in the gym. It was overlooking the pool. the palm trees, the fountains. I cannot tell you
Wow.
what that was to see God work like that in my life, and to know that I couldn't afford that on a single mom's salary with 3 kids.
Right.
We lived there for 7 years.
Wow.
I did that for 7 years while they were finishing middle school and into high school, until I met the high school football coach. And actually, my oldest son played football for him. And we were just parent coach, nothing ever out of the ordinary. He coached my oldest son.
Wow.
And then my youngest son, there was one year that I had all 3 in high school together. And my youngest son came into 9th grade and ended up in his PE class.
Wow.
And in the course of, early morning time, Noah would forget his backpack, or he would forget his project, or he would need lunch money.
Yeah.
He had PE first period. And so he'd have to call me, Mom, can you bring my lunch money? Mom, I left my backpack. Mom, I left my project. And there for a little bit, I was running up to the school consecutively. And then he joked and said that he and his buddies started noticing what Coach Smith would straighten up when Miss Lane would walk into the gym, and I would come flying in the gym to find Noah, to give him I had no clue at all.
Yeah.
And I would just wave and say, I'm sorry, Coach Smith. Let me see Noah for a second. And then I would be back out.
Right.
Well, Noah and his buddies noticed that Coach Smith kind of started to stiffen up, and he would blow his whistle and he would get real serious. And so the boys got together. This is their story now. Christian and Noah got together and said, I think we need to set Coach Smith up with Mom. She needs to go out on a date.
Oh, wow. That's so funny.
And so Noah went to the coach and said, hey, Coach, can I talk to you? And Danny says, well, I thought he was getting bullied. I thought, yes, Noah, do you need to come in the office? Yeah, come on in. And he said, Noah looked right at him and said, Coach, it's okay if you ask our mom out on a date.
Aww.
And he said he turned 50 shades of red. And then I did too. When he actually called me, he was like, Miss Lane, I'm really sorry, but I need to talk to you about Noah. And I was like, oh, great. Noah, what did you do? You got in trouble, that kind of feeling.
Right.
He said, no, I just wanted to tell you that your boys said it was okay if I asked you out on a date, and I've never done this before in my life. And I don't want you to think I'm crossing any lines, but I would love to take you to coffee.
Wow.
And I told him no 3 times. 3 times. I was just focused. I thought that I was focused. I've got to take care of these kids. I don't want to do that. But then after the 3rd time, I had peace about it.
Oh.
And I went to coffee. And after that, it was on. Yes. And now I'm Mrs. Coach. And we will almost have been, April will be our 8th year anniversary.
Wow.
And he is still a high school football coach. He loves his passion, his calling. He loves it. He retired from the Alabama school system, and now he's coaching in Mississippi. But the super cool thing is when we met, he was the head coach at Baker High School in Mobile. And our kids and the football team got together, and he proposed 2 years later. And they were like, no, you got to get married on the field. So we actually got married on the 50-yard line.
Oh, wow.
At the high school, with the band playing the fight song and the wedding march, and all of our friends and family. The football team was there, and our kids were present, and it was just a complete blessing. And so, that was 10 years ago, and we're almost on our 8th year wedding anniversary. So yes, it can happen. Yes. Keep speaking out. what your heart's desire is. God knows what your heart's desire is.
Yep.
And, you know, I would have never, ever thought that or imagined that. I couldn't have dreamed that up. I couldn't have made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But in my singleness and going through, you know, abuse and trauma and the things that sometimes we go through,
Right.
I hadn't have allowed God to heal what needed to heal,
Mm-hmm.
then, you know, I might not have been ready.
Right. Right.
And so the biggest thing about being single is enjoy the moment, be in the present, stay focused where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and allow God to do what he needs to do in you so that you will be ready.
Right.
Because you're not looking for someone to complete you.
Exactly.
You're looking to complement each other.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And to be in a team, it's a team. You become one.
Yep.
He designed it that way.
Yep.
But to become one, you got to be ready to do that.
Yeah. That's
I
awesome.
had let me see. Something came earlier. Oh, being single
Mm-hmm.
is not a season of lack, but a season of purpose, growth, and deep intimacy with God. If you choose that, it's a time to prepare, to heal, and to align yourself with God's calling before stepping into that relationship.
Yes. Yes.
And I loved that. So be encouraged. If you're single, if you're in the waiting, if your heart's desire is to be married and to have a family, or whatever it is, just be encouraged in the waiting
Mm-hmm.
and worship while you're waiting.
Right.
Keep that attitude of gratitude and thankfulness for the season that you're in,
Right.
and call those things that are not as though they are. Keep your dreamer on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Keep dreaming, but enjoy the moments that you're in. I love to say this and to share with the ladies in my network
Mm-hmm.
that it's a journey of joy, not to joy.
Yeah.
It's a journey of joy.
Right.
That
Yep.
means that joy is accessible every single day
Yep.
in all that we do.
True. True. I know like some single women, they are so broken that I guess sometimes they become desperate, if you want to say, and they just jump from one relationship to another, you know, not healing from the last relationship, you know, not giving God a chance to make you whole again, you know, to mend your heart. And, you know, that only hurts you even more, you know, when you go from one relationship to another and you're already broken. And then you're like, Lord, where is he?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
where is the right one? Where is, you know, and I think, you know, God does have someone for you. You know, we are talking for the singles, you know, to the singles. God does have someone for you, but first you need to be whole with the Lord. You know, you need to have that close intimacy relationship with the Lord.
Yes.
That's like part of my testimony is like, I came from an Italian dysfunctional home. Okay. That's what I came from. So
Wow.
there was not like a lot of approval, acceptance, not a lot of like hugging, I'm proud of you, you know, all the positive affirmations. There
Yeah.
was not like that, you know. And of course, me seeking out the wrong things for acceptance in a person, that led me down like a nightmare road, you know. Instead, you know, of me being accepted from the Lord, you know, he's my treasure. The Lord is my treasure and I am his treasure, you know. And like my husband's on here, Mama Mia. Okay. He's Mr.
He loves it. Oh, Pastor Rick, Mamma Mia.
I'm teaching him Italian, so
Yeah, I love
he's
it.
Italian by marriage. Okay, so that's what I'm dealing with. So, but anyways, I think as a single woman, you need to be whole in the Lord. You need to know who
Mhm.
you are in the Lord first.
Yes.
I belong to the Lord. I'm his princess. I'm his queen.
Yeah.
You need to as a single woman, you need to see yourself as that, you
Yes.
know. Um
So important. So
yeah.
important.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
you are not your past. You aren't
exactly.
your failures. You aren't the things that the enemy tries to come and say. And that's part of
Yes.
speaking out. The power
Yes.
of life
Yep.
in your voice is that
Yeah.
you get to look in the mirror every day and say what the word of God says over
Right.
you.
Yeah, you need
Yes,
to.
you're the daughter of the king of
Yeah.
all kings, not a king, the king of
Yeah,
all kings. He
exactly.
knows you by name. He knows the hairs on your head. He
Mhm.
has a good plan for you.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah.
yes.
So, and at the time I was like, uh, I just want a godly relationship. I just want this, this, this. And after so many narcissists that
Mhm.
you need, okay, it was a nightmare. I would meet narcissists after narcissist, them lying and saying, yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you'll see them by their fruits. Okay.
Yes,
When someone says something, you'll see them by their fruits,
yes. Not
Um,
just words.
yeah, exactly. It's like put actions to your words, And,
Yes.
I had the typical thing like, the guy would, oh, I'll text you later, I'll call you later. That never happened. And as a single woman, sometimes you're like so desperate, you're like looking at your phone. Okay, he didn't text. Okay, he
Right.
didn't this, and that. So I know some women, some single women, they could be like that.
Mhm.
And but then one day, but God, period,
Yeah.
period, period.
Yes.
I was at a point where I used to live with my mom.
Mhm.
And I used to live with her, and I would just work home in church, work home in church. That was my life. So one night I was like so over the narcissist. I was just over it. I was over it. And then I said, out of my heart, my spirit, I said, okay, God, we're going to do it your way. I said, God, I said, you write my love story.
Mm.
After that, everything, it's like as soon as I said that, everything just started to change. A
Yep.
lot of women, let's say single men and women, they want to do it their way.
Mhm.
They think that they got it, they can figure it out.
Yep.
God will do it my way. Your
Yep.
way is too slow. I'm
Yep.
going to do it my way. And
Yep.
it
I've
always
been
fails.
there.
It always fails. Okay. So you and
Yep.
me both, okay? So I said, God, you write my love story, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing here. I've got my heart broken like one too many times. So then my husband here, Rick Hart, he's the pastor of New Life Church. So he's on here encouraging me. And so then just all of a sudden, I see this picture of him on Facebook.
Mhm.
He was ministering all over as well. In my singleness, when I was, living with my mom, I would do Facebook Lives all the time to encourage myself and to encourage other singles. So I would have other guests with me. And, anyways, so I saw Rick with he was doing a revival, or he was ministering somewhere. And this is what I told the Lord. I said, Lord, I said, I want to meet someone that loves you more than me. And when you get someone like that, you got someone good.
Yep.
So I
Yes.
said, I want someone that loves you more than me.
Yeah.
And that is not afraid to worship you
Mm.
public, wherever he is,
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to weep at your feet,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm.
weep in public, in front of you, is not ashamed of you whatsoever.
Yeah.
And wow, and then, like I said, I saw this picture, and I think we had become friends. To this day, we still don't know if it was mutual friend or whatever. How we became friends to this day, we still don't know. So I think it was just God, he did it.
Uh-huh.
So and it was my mother's birthday. I think it was her 90th birthday or something, and he wished her happy birthday on there, and I hearted on the comment. And so I commented, and then after we became friends, I always inbox the person, and I just say blessings, thanks for
Yeah.
connecting, just something simple,
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And so he responded, and I forgot, he could tell you better, but so he responded. He knows like the story. Hi, Dave. Welcome to the live. Um, hey, Amber. Welcome to the live. So yeah. So he inboxed me, or no, sorry. Let me back up. Sorry. His mom had asked him. Kudos to his mom. His mom. She asked, "Hey, Marianne." She asked Rick, have you met any women lately? Have you been talking to anyone?
Oh.
His, moms get involved. Okay. So,
Yeah. Yes,
so
they do.
yeah.
Yes.
So Rick is like, no, but there's one lady that keeps coming
Uh-oh.
up in my feed.
Thanks, Mom. Pastor Rick says.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
So anyways, he told her about me, and his mom was like, well, you need to call her. And so Rick's like, I don't have her phone number. Well, you need to get her phone number. Back and forth with mom, And then anyways, we texted, and we finally exchanged numbers. And so he called. And one big, because God will give you so many signs that he's the one, or that she's the one.
Yeah.
He will give you so many signs to give you that peace, And
No.
so the
And
rest is
also vice versa.
yeah.
He will give you the signs, and the red flags will be there, and do
Oh yeah.
not try to overlook them. I'm
Oh
here to
yeah.
tell you.
Oh yeah.
Just trust the flags. If they're a waving,
Yep.
then just keep on moving, because you will
Exactly.
have peace when it is right.
Exactly. But see, I was stubborn. Even
Me
though
too.
I saw red flags not in Rig, but in other,
Yep.
fake people, bozos, and narcissists. Even though I saw, hi Armand, um, even though I saw red flags, I chose to ignore them.
Yep.
See, I ignored the red flags because that's how desperate I was, which
Yep.
is like sad to say,
Yep.
And
But
some
it
people,
happens. It's so happens. It's so common. It just does. And that's why you and I are here, to encourage them and to remind them that, yeah, we've been there. We've done that.
exactly. Yep. And I can't say this more strong to singles. Do not ignore red flags,
No.
because red flags are from the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Use
And
that discernment. And
yes,
when you get that gut feeling and discernment is kicking in, it's for a reason. And God is trying to open your eyes and your heart to show
Yep.
you
Yep.
And we can't change anyone.
Exactly.
My issue was thinking, oh, it'll be fine down the road. I mean, it's going to be fine.
Yep.
We're going to be fine.
Yeah, we could be their savior.
Yeah.
We could fit him in our, and so I chose to ignore the red flags. I'm like, well, I could get him to change. Isn't that how all the singles say? I could get him to change. I could get her to change. I'll just have him come to church with me. No,
right.
That doesn't work like that, and like I said, I wasted, unfortunately, sometimes you waste years with the wrong person, and that's something that I totally regretted was, Lord, forgive me. I wasted so much time because I wanted to do it my way.
Yeah.
I had to ask forgiveness, like, I don't know how many times, but
me too.
But and every time I would talk to the person, there was no peace whatsoever. No peace. So I'm like, okay, this is just, so then when me and Rick started talking, I noticed, like, I think the first night, I don't know how many hours we talked. I think it was like 2 good hours, and I noticed, like, so many things. I said, wow, we exchanged our testimonies and all the garbage we did, all the mistakes we did, and there was no condemnation. There was, I felt like I could tell him anything, and there was no condemnation. There's like, he didn't say, oh, wow, you did that. Forget it. Bye.
Right.
He never, and I know his past, and who are we to judge?
Right.
Who are we to judge someone's past when we've done worse?
Exactly.
So, and that's one thing I noticed. I'm like, man, I still like have that peace in me. And I noticed that I was like, wow, I never had this before, and it was just like, and after, and then we exchanged numbers, and he was like, can I talk to you tomorrow? And I said, sure, but again, I was not believing it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so used to someone saying something and not following through.
Right.
Like, okay, I went along with it.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. So, hi, Kelly, and blessings. Welcome to the live. And so I'm like, okay. And so the next day I get a text, and it was from him. And I'm like, oh, so he did follow through. Oh, that was like a shocker for me, and so he's like, I'm at work, and just small talk, and he's like, can I call you later? And I'm like, yeah. And again, doubting in my heart, and God sometimes got to give you, he's got to give you so many signs until you wake up and you're like, it's me,
Yeah.
Trusting God for my future spouse God has for me. Yep.
Yes, Kelly.
He's not going to disappoint you. Just keep trusting, trust in him. He knows who he's got for you. And that's what me and Michelle are talking about tonight. That God does have someone for you, and don't doubt, this is what we're talking about. Don't ignore the red flags. Hi, Noah. Love you, sister, in Jesus' mighty name. Bless you, Noah. But yeah, like I was saying, let's say Rick proved himself. He had to prove himself to me, okay? Because, my heart's been broken so many times, and I really didn't trust anyone, male figure, didn't trust anyone. And he proved himself, and like he would call when he said he would text, stuff like that. And I, I'm sure you
So
had
good.
experiences like that too.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, you know, because I really didn't want to do it again and I didn't want to mess up again. And by everything that I had done in my timing, my plan, and in my way,
Mm-hmm.
it was awful.
Yeah.
And I kept making the same mistakes over and over. And I did not want that to be the next story. And I didn't want,
Right.
you know, my boys and my daughter to see that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was scary.
Yeah. Yeah. That's um yeah, I mean we started so you know when it's God is when he does a suddenly. He does a
Yes.
suddenly in your life.
Yes.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it's God.
Yep.
My story, if I would tell people, they just would look at me like, no way could that have happened. No way. But see, when God is writing your love story, all things are possible with him.
Yes.
So in 8 months, I believe it was 8 or 9 months, eventually he flew me to Alabama, to meet his family, to
Mhm.
meet everyone. And he said the first time he saw me come out of the airport, he's like, the Lord gave him that assurance that I was the one. So
Wow.
I didn't know that day, because he didn't tell me. So I didn't know that day that the Lord spoke to him like that. And he told me like later on, uh, down the road in the waiting season, God is working, moving, shifting things around for me in my life and for my future. Yes, he is.
Yes, Kelly.
Yes, keep that attitude and you won't be disappointed. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he eventually come and met my mom, and my mom is it'll be 1 year tomorrow that mom is with Jesus. So
Wow.
we're celebrating with him 1 year tomorrow. So
Mm.
and my miss her every day. My mom fell in love with Rick. She called him her son. I mean, she loved him like her very
Mm.
own. And I knew that was God because my mom, she was, she didn't like when I was talking to someone. She just, the typical Italian
Protective.
mom. Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay. So, anyways, she fell in love with him. She loved him so much.
Wow.
And I had so much peace and joy. I'm like, my Lord, all the seasons, all the heartache that I went through,
Yep.
and look what God did. Look
Yes.
what he did. And
Yep.
I didn't need to help him, that's I did not
Right.
need to help him, right? So in 8 months,
Mm.
um, I think it was 8, 9 months, we courted, we got engaged, we got married, we inherited a church paid in full, and we bought my brother-in-law's house. Now tell me that is not God.
Wow. Oh,
All in 8 months.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's one of those stories where you go, there's no amount of you being able to make that work.
Yeah.
Not like that in that
Yes.
timeline. No.
Yes. You cannot tell me that God don't exist. You
That's
cannot
right.
tell me that. And now we just, and that was also my prayer. I said, Lord, I knew in my heart, my spirit, I was going to marry a pastor.
Mhm.
That's how I knew, like I knew, because I wanted to serve the Lord alongside my husband, a
Yeah.
pastor. Okay.
Yeah.
And he made it came to pass, because
Yeah.
when you're praying according to God's will,
Mhm.
that's it's going to
Yeah.
come to pass, especially when you're praying along his will.
Yeah.
And so now we minister at New Life Church, Moss Point, Mississippi. um and me and my husband, we're just always, ministering. We're always traveling to, conferences to be poured into as well. Because
Yeah.
when you give out, you would know this,
Yep.
when you give out to people, you need someone to pour into you.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
what other stuff would you share to the singles? What other stuff would you share?
I love your story, by the way. That that just inspires me, encourages me, that it just sparks my heart for yet another God story, and for God to get the glory in it. I mean, and to look back over, you and I are so much alike, and we could sit forever and probably talk about the things that we did and
Yeah.
that we've been through. And
Yeah.
that, sometimes I'll walk into a room and, people have made comments to me before that, oh my gosh, I would have never known that about you,
Yeah.
or you don't
Yeah.
even look like you would have done. Oh, yeah, I
Exactly.
can tell you, I can spend doing it my way.
Exactly.
Was not good.
Exactly.
And so I think the most encouraging thing that I would like to say and leave you with tonight is, like we said in the beginning, enjoy the season that you're in,
Right.
while preparing for your next one, because that's in life anyway. Whether if you're single, it's hard. If you're married, it's hard. Just
Right.
you're in a different season, it's still going to be hard. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be good. That doesn't mean we're not going to have mountaintop experiences and valleys. That's life, and that's what God gives us. But worshiping while you wait.
Yes.
Worship your way through this single period. Pray, fast, seek the Lord, stand on his word. Don't let friends sway you to the left or to the right. Keep your eyes focused on Jesus. Ask him for his wisdom every day, for rivers of his wisdom to flow.
Right.
Ask him for your eyes and your heart to be open to discern red flags and familiar spirits that are not supposed to be in your life.
Right.
So that you won't make another mistake or a mistake, and that you'll know that peace will come that passes all understanding, like you had with Pastor Rick, and just knowing when the time is right, your suddenly comes. And when, work on your healing, work on being the best daughter or son of the King of all kings, so that you can meet your mate and complement each other.
Yes. Yes. And also, sometimes people say, well, how will I know? How will I know if she's for me? I'm, the man, the woman. How will I know? Just like you and I have said during this broadcast, God will make it known to you.
Yep.
You won't need to wrestle, waiting for a text, waiting for a phone call. You will not need to wrestle. You will have total peace.
Yeah.
This is how God will show you. He will give you signs, especially when it's God. You will have signs. You will see for yourself. He will make it known to you if he's the one, if she's the one. You don't have to wrestle with it in your heart.
Yeah. And you don't have to make any decisions until you know that you know that you know.
Yep. Yeah.
And I know there's something I love to pray and say, and it's super simple, but I learned this from one of my faith mentors, and she always taught us to say, God, I'm going to continue moving forward with this. And if this is not of your will, if this is not in your plan for me right now, then shut the door, and make it so plain and evident, and take the desire away.
Right.
So whatever it is, if it's a relationship or a business or business adventure or whatever you're doing, God, shut the door, because I'm going to keep going.
Yep.
Until I know or see or hear from you. Shut the door and then take the desire away. Just take it away.
That's exactly how I prayed, just like that.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it works. It
Yep.
will work.
Yep.
And so if you're watching today, we just want to encourage you. We want to love on you. We want to tell you that you are worthy right where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And in this season of singleness,
Mm-hmm.
just enjoy it,
Yeah.
because your suddenly can come in an instant and you'll be moving on into the next season. So
Yep.
just enjoy it for the
Yep.
moment.
Yeah.
Embrace your purpose. You have purpose right here and right now.
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
your time to spiritually grow and to heal and
Mhm.
enjoy right where you are. It's a
Yeah.
journey of joy,
Yeah.
not to joy.
Yeah. I usually, that's what I usually say sometimes I encourage the men and the women, know your worth.
Yeah.
You need to know your worth. I think especially the single ladies, they just like, I want to do my own thing. I want to do my own thing. Listen, you need to know your worth.
Yeah.
You are you're his apple of his eye. You are worth so much in the face of God. In the
Yeah.
eyes of God, you're worth so much. So why lower your standards for a man that is not supposed to be in your life,
Yep.
or a woman that
Yep.
is not supposed to be in your life?
Don't
So
settle.
why do that to yourself?
Yep.
Um,
Don't
yeah,
settle. Don't settle for anything less than God's best and what he absolutely has for you.
exactly, exactly. Is there any other awesome, awesome advice that you wanted to share tonight with us?
I think some of the verses that I always sit on, that I go back to, is trust
Uh-huh.
God's timing.
Yes.
Psalms 37:4 says, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. Don't
Yes.
forget that. Just delight in him like you do a friend, like you want to go and have coffee or dinner or meet for
Mhm.
Mexican.
Yep.
Delight yourself in him in that way and know that he already sees and knows the desires of your heart in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Yes.
Seek first the kingdom of God. That's
Mhm.
always a staple to stand on. Just seek
Mhm.
him every day in every way.
Yes.
Um, what else? We talked about Jeremiah 29:11. He
Yes.
knows the plans already. He
Mhm.
knows the plans for you.
Yep. Yep.
I had to stand on that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Proverbs 31:25. Prepare yourself. Not just wait. Don't just sit back and wait. Be
Right.
active in the preparing.
Mhm.
I was on the ladies' Bible study with Kingdom University today, and Pastor
Oh,
Kinsey
okay.
talked
Yeah.
about the Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah.
And she just dug into that. And it was so refreshing and eye-opening to hear the way
Mhm.
that, she brought that.
Yep.
But it reminded me that I stood on that Proverbs 31:25 that
Yeah.
says, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and that I can laugh. She
Yes.
laughs at the
Yeah.
days to come.
Exactly.
Laugh and have
Yeah.
some joy in this singleness right now. And just be encouraged that while you wait on the Lord, Isaiah 30, what is it? Isaiah 30, wait on the Lord. Come on, Pastor Rick,
Mhm.
tell me.
And he will renew your strength.
Yes, renewing
Yes.
the strength. Yes. What
Yes.
verse is that? That's one of my favorites. Yes, they that wait upon the Lord.
He will renew their strength.
Yes, have your strength renewed every
Mhm.
single day. Attitude of gratitude. Start your day thankful and worship him in the waiting.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you've got this. And then we want to see and hear, come back here. Send Diana, send us a message and let us know. Tell Pastor Rick, come and visit them at the church. Let them know, hey, I watched the live. Something sparked in me. The Holy Spirit changed my heart. And
Mhm.
now, guess what? I've met my mate. We're
Yeah.
getting married, or we
Yeah.
did, or whatever, because your
Yes.
story's coming. And
Yes.
just stand on that and believe it. Because if it can happen for me, it can happen for you, it can happen for all of you.
Yes. And Kelly was saying she's been waiting a while. Kelly was saying she'd been waiting 10 years. You know what? I wouldn't put a limit on God. You know,
No.
he could send your spouse
Yes.
now. He could send him, you know what I'm saying? So God doesn't look, he doesn't have a timeline. You
Yes.
know, God doesn't do that. We do. We're like, okay, looking at my watch, you know, any day now, you know.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
And it's
God
just like seed, time, and harvest.
is-
We sow the seed, we plant the seeds in this season, but our time might be time, but it might be time and then harvest.
Exactly.
It's God's timing.
Yes.
It's God's timing.
Yes.
So don't
Yes.
look at the years. Just keep looking in here, saying, God, what else do I need to do to get ready? What
Yeah,
else? What
that's
else?
a good
Shut the
point.
doors, remove the desire, and then I'm going to keep moving forward
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. That's what I was saying when I was single. I'm like, okay, Lord, prepare me to be that godly wife that
Yeah.
you want me to be.
Yeah.
You know, uh, same thing for a man, you know, prepare me to be a godly husband, a godly man. And like you said, you know, preparing you while you're waiting,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and he's molding you, he's shaping you as you're waiting, you
That's
know.
right.
Um,
Yep.
Belinda's in Louisiana.
Oh yeah, Isaiah 40:31. That's it. That's it. That's it. I knew my mind went blank. I'm like, yes.
Isaiah 40. Yep.
Yep.
Um,
Wait
but
upon the Lord.
But I'm hoping all you lovely people have been sharing this awesome live. I know me and Michelle will do another one.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's so much
and
fun.
yes, it is. And I know we're gonna trust God that testimonies are going to come from
Yes.
this broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna, Kelly, not dating, looking, just waiting. Yep. Just waiting, you know,
Right.
the Lord's going to prepare you for the
Mhm.
man that he has for you. You know,
Mhm.
we never know when he's going to find you, you know.
That's right.
So we are going to pray for you, Kelly. We will pray for you. And so
And be praying in advance too for your spouse. You
yes,
can
yeah,
pray for him and
yep,
his heart, and that he's seeking the Lord right now too. You
exactly.
know,
Exactly.
and that was part of your story, and just saying and listing out these things that are in your heart
Yeah.
that you know that you would want,
Yeah.
but being single is it's a good season. It's a
Okay.
season where you can serve and love and give
Exactly.
and yeah, and enjoy it.
And there's nothing wrong with
Mm-mm.
petitioning, you know, to the Lord. There's nothing wrong with asking him, well, Lord, I desire this in a man and whatever. There's nothing wrong with seeking the Lord and talking to him and
Mm-hmm.
saying, Lord, I desire this kind of a, you know, whatever. There's nothing wrong with that, you
Mm-mm.
know. And just
No, not at all.
yeah. I mean, I that's the way I prayed. I said, Lord, I want someone that loves you more than me,
Yep.
you know, and is not afraid, is not ashamed of you, you know, and the Lord
Right.
gave me that plus more, you know, and yeah,
Yeah.
I
I love that. I love it. I mean, Habakkuk 2:2 keeps coming to my mind. He says, write the vision and make it plain.
right, right,
So to me, that falls in the category.
yeah, exactly. So, but Michelle, it's been so fun doing this with
It
you.
has.
I'm praying that everyone got an encouraging word out of
Me
this.
too.
And we want to thank everyone that has shared and that has come on and commented. And so I know me and Michelle are going to do another one soon. But
Yes.
for now, we hang on. When I end this, just hang on in the background there.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Love you
I was so
all.
glad to be with you all tonight. Yeah. And we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.